I will say this, boy, do those edge rushers get paid,
Meal
man.
ticket. Do you see it?
Of all of these players that are signing, all the skill positions, obviously we know quarterbacks are going to get big money. You get the one-off receiver like Pierce for Indianapolis, sets the record for most, largest contract for a receiver ever. It's crazy. And I had him on my fantasy team, and he was fine. I mean, I'm not saying he's not worth that money, but wow, like he scored big time. But it is interesting to see the ups and downs per position,
Yes.
right? Like I feel like now with Kenneth Walker shining not only throughout the playoffs but in the Super Bowl, he's bringing a little bit of that steam back to the running back position. We're seeing running backs get a little bit more now, a little bit more. They're all of a sudden they're important again. I feel like when you were playing, they were the most important. And then it kind of dipped and it was all about the receivers because everyone's throwing the ball everywhere. Now I feel like it's kind of slipping back towards running backs a little bit. But man, those edge rushers on the defensive side of the ball are racking up huge contracts over $100 million.
It is, and I just think yeah, the
Unbelievable.
game has changed, obviously, and I think obviously for the defensive ends, it's a pass rusher's dream. Hey, if I
Mhm.
gotta do my skill set and do my drills and know that I got to get at least 5 yards up the field, 5 yards down the field, and then make sure I can run left and right, east and west of the sidelines, I think I'd do it for 100 million too. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely would do it.
Yeah. Well, of these running backs, besides Kenneth Walker III going to the Chiefs, who do you think's making a big impact here for their team? I mean, you think Dowdle is going to help push Pittsburgh over the edge? We don't know what's happening at quarterback yet. I feel like Rodgers is going to wait till the very last second. But, the Steelers able to squeak into the playoffs, but is Dowdle enough to change it and put and allow them to go further and make a deeper run? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's been definitely productive over the last 2 years. He's shown that he can do that, whether in Carolina or also with the Dallas Cowboys, 1,000 yard rusher back to back. That allows you to know, hey, this is the pedigree. This is what I got coming in. So, there's nothing less to be expected. So that's a good thing. But I think the biggest addition is David Montgomery to the Houston
Yeah.
Texans. Obviously, with them having one of the top ranked defenses, it gives them a great opportunity for someone that definitely knows how to pick up yards in between the tackles. I think that takes a lot of pressure off the offense down there in Texas.
Yeah, and for those who maybe have missed it, and you're going, well, don't they already have Joe Mixon? No, they don't. He was released by the Texans, and it's too bad, man. He suffered some injuries, but he was balling out before those injuries. He kind of rebirthed his career there in Houston, and I thought he was playing well. And like you said, injuries they just catch up, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
he had like a lower extremity injury to his foot, and it just kind of seems like, wrap that bad boy up and get back on the field. But I can tell you, it depends on what type of running back you are. I mean, them ankles, man, they get pretty sensitive. So, some guys are
yeah,
able to push through it, but a lot of times, man, if you got like a hairline fracture, if you got something going on with that lower extremity, as much as you want to put that weight on it, it just prevents you from doing it. So, and we've seen that. You can just imagine, even like a defensive end pass rusher, if you can't put that weight on that outside foot, it's going to be tough for you to dig in there in the offensive line and break through.
yeah, make cuts, all that stuff. And look, you get tackled in that pile, someone lands on your foot wrong, just re-aggravates it instantly. No fun. No
Yeah, well, the
bueno.
days of getting your ankles twisted and getting poked in the eye and getting, all those days are over with, man. So those are the least of your worries. So it's just a matter of just, like hey, just a turf monster might get you. You might trip or something now. But there's a lot that they don't have to worry about, man.
I used to joke about turf toe as being an injury,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Come on, man, turf toe, get out there and play," until you get a turf toe,
Yes.
and then you're like, "I can't even walk into the kitchen and get myself a bowl for dinner tonight."
Yeah.
So yeah, turf toe is no joke.
I've seen some
Um,
300-pound men, offensive linemen, and you would think a turf toe is not going to make you sit down. Yeah,
yeah,
it'll make
yeah,
a 300
yeah,
pound guy sit down, put his
yeah.
foot up, ice it, put it in the hot tub, and then also ask for a note to get out of practice. I mean, it's unbearable.
Absolutely. All right, the last running back I'd like to talk about here quickly is Travis Etienne going to the Saints. I think he's a good running back, although last year he had an okay year. The year prior, he had a great year. Maybe it's just a change of scenery he needs, but the Saints are in full rebuild mode. They were terrible last year, but he's going to be part of that rebuild. So I think he's going to make a pretty big impact too
Yeah, I think
down in New
so.
Orleans.
He's a very, very slash runner. Can be
Mhm.
very strong in between the tackles, but then has a burst. I mean, if he gets on the perimeter, he can beat you with his speed. But here, I got this one question for you, Mark. Let me ask you:
Yes.
would you take the contract that gives you more money, but you play longer, or would you take the contract that pays you under that amount and you only play 2 or 3 years? To give you an example, you got Kenneth Walker and you got Travis, right? One's 46,
Right.
one's at 40, 52. Obviously, Travis is 4 years, Kenneth Walker's three. Are you taking just a little bit money? And because you could say, hey, when it came out on the press, I was the highest paid running back, right? Or you
Yeah,
could take
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
lower years. Which are you taking? Where are you going with?
Oh man, I gotta. There's so many factors that go into that, right? Like, what's my family life like? Do I have a bunch of kids already? Am I already set up? Am I already kind of doing well? Maybe the contract I had previous, set me up. I'm in a good position. I'll be okay. Um, I mean, if you reach the pro level, at least me personally as a player, I didn't get to reach the pro level, but this is what I wanted to do for my life, right? You work so hard your whole life. I would think you'd want to play it as long as possible. It's just what you're built to do. It's your mindset. When you see players, they're 41, 42, like Aaron Rodgers, like he could have hung it up like 7 years ago, but he's like, nah, I'm good. I want to keep going. It's a mentality thing. I feel like I'd want to play longer.
Play longer?
I feel like I'd wanna play longer, but,
But what
that's
about
more wear and tear.
Yeah, but what about getting back to the table earlier? To get a new contract or to re-sign or renew your deal. What?
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, there's so many factors, plus what team am I going to, Am I going to Sheboygan again, no offense to Sheboygan, Wisconsin,
You like
you
that
don't have a
place?
pro team, it's all good, but, some people just don't wanna live in the cold.
There you go.
Some people don't wanna think it's too hot down south, who knows? But, there's just so many factors, but I mean, look, we're playing with monopoly money at that point, This is so much money, Priest.
Yeah, well, here's what I
The fact
learned,
that
man, and I could just take experience from my
yeah,
situation. When I got into the NFL, all of my rights were to Baltimore for my first 4 years, so it wasn't really no wiggle room for me. It didn't matter
yeah,
that in my second year I rushed for 1,000 yards, and you know what I mean. The starter that was there, I was able to take over that role.
mhm,
It was one of those things where I was like, man, how do I get back to the table? And it took me to
yeah,
go
yeah,
through my 4 year contract, then to get into free agency, and then to experience something that was much different in terms of having more value, more upside, and then being picked by a team. But I'm going with a lower amount of years and getting back to the table as quickly as possible because you just don't know what's going to happen and when opportunity is going to strike. And then at the end of the day, everybody wants to win a Super Bowl. That's the main goal, right? And so
right.
sometimes it takes you to have the ability to be able to go to a team that's more complementary to to your style of play.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense, and that's fair. I can see it both ways, but, your instinct is get me back to that table. Let's renegotiate.
Yeah,
Let's just keep getting that money up, 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 up. Where my brain is like job security, although there really isn't any job security in the NFL. They can cut you at any second, but my brain would just say, okay, they at least offered me 4 years. That means their intention is maybe to have me for 4 years. But then that's where that guaranteed money comes into play, man. All right, you want me for 4 years, then you give me
there
28.7
you
guaranteed. And then you want to cut me tomorrow? Great. I don't care.
go.
28.7 to walk away, no more practice. I'm
Yeah.
good.
If it don't work
All
out,
right.
hey, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, but it is wild, man. Just taking a step back for all of this in free agency. One, I'm glad it's there because I believe the individual should be able to hit the market, find out what their worth is, take the best opportunity, be able to make choices for themselves. I feel like people just in general should be able to do that in life. So I'm happy for free agency, but man, are those numbers getting big
Yeah, man.
priest.
They're insane.
It's
It's pretty
big.
exciting. Yeah, it's pretty exciting just to see where the league
It,
is, how it's growing and
yeah.
expanding. It's going abroad. Even more games are played out of the country. So it's so much in terms of merch and opportunities and ticket sales. And now with social
Hmm.
media and branding yourself, it just kind of keeps that number going up and up and up.
Through the roof. And everyone's got podcasts too. All these players got podcasts now, so they have yet another revenue stream. It's
Yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah. Reminds me of Shadir Sanders and some of the excitement that's happening in his life. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, man, them jersey
Yep.
sales went out the door for him. So
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm gonna shout out the Browns just for a second, because in free agency they got an offensive tackle in Titus Howard, they got an offensive guard in Zion Johnson,
uh,
so they're looking to protect that quarterback. They're gonna give him a shot, a genuine shot, and that's something you like to see. You don't want your cute. Look, the Browns have been through 56 quarterbacks since 1999 or however many it is. Just can we just stop right here? We're good. Like, let's make it work with Shador. Let's do it.
Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose. Sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more.
Hey, do you have a gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only, 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, and select parishes in Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.